All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody. I am David. This is High Shelf Gaming, and we get to play some Cyberpunk Red tonight. I have really been looking forward to this. This is going to be a fun little interlude, is what I call these. These are like little peeks into what the bad guys are doing. Before we get into all that, though, I just want to go through our roster super fast because on Sundays we play with a different crew, a slightly different crew. Next to me is Mike playing Dexy the Fixer. Tonight, though, Mike is going to be playing some NPCs, right? So I've got the normal nameplate and everything, but welcome, Mike. Welcome back. I'm glad we get to play on Sundays with you.
Glad to be back.
Yeah. And next to Mike is Casey, who normally plays Vinton, the wheelman and gunman for the show. Um, Casey is at home this weekend, which is great. Welcome, Casey.
How y'all doing?
And next to Casey is Gavin or GSSG playing Ta the Techie. Again, we're all playing NPCs tonight. So the names and labels mean a little less tonight, but I want to keep it consistent so that, there's not like confusion when people watch this later. Like, who are these people? So welcome back, Gavin.
Huzzah.
Yeah. And down on the vertical column, that's me in the top corner. And then we've got Ethan, who normally plays Silas the solo. And we've also got Sci-Fi, and they normally play Galaxy, the solo. And again, we're all playing NPCs tonight, so this will be a fun one. And welcome, chat. This is great. I love seeing all the folks. Before we go any further, High Shelf Gaming, we're doing a bunch of stuff now. We've got, I think the very next game we're going to play on stream is the Blades in the Dark game that Mike is putting on. And that one is going to be really interesting because we just did this whole crazy sideways heist, and now we've got our wits about us, and we're going to try and do the next thing. I I don't know if we're on the way down or on the way up in Blades in the Dark. I don't know how the crew is doing.
We're
Over
fine.
over the long timeline, it goes straight. It's just that it's
Yeah,
dragging up and down.
yeah.
The average is that it just keeps moving.
Yeah. So Blades in the Dark, super fun, scum and villainy. That's our job, is to be the bad guys. Along
No,
with
Skill and Villainy, that's a different game.
It's true.
That
We're
one's in space.
okay, fair enough. So Blades in the Dark, it's skullduggery is maybe what I should say. Is we're all jerks.
There you
Um, yeah, Blades in the Dark. This is fine. Good one, Jigos. And then next to Blades in the Dark on, I don't think we have anything going on Friday. Saturday we'll be playing Cyberpunk again. Right, we're skipping this Friday for your game, Ethan. Is that correct?
go. Yeah, that one's going to be bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
Until Halloween-ish.
Ooh, all right, good. Yeah, so we last Friday got to play the first round of Ethan's game. All of these are available on the video on demand side of Twitch, and I'm moving them over to YouTube shortly. Yesterday we did a big thing with John the Wise, which was super fun, out of the cyberpunk community, cyberpunk scene. He's got that posted on YouTube. I'll get the same version of that posted on my YouTube soon. But by all means, go watch it on his channel, watch it on our channel, whatever you like. But that was a really, really nice look into how the Cyberpunk Discord is doing and how the scene is going and all the cool content that people are making. There are, I think, 100 or a couple hundred Roll20 tokens just in the Discord that this guy makes, and you can just go grab them and use them in your Roll20. And it's everything from the net to city streets to all kinds of stuff that he's making, and all kinds of really good stuff in there. Okay, so let's get into this. I want to set the scene for everybody. We're looking back in Night City. I got to talk to the good folks over at Night City IO, and they've made it okay for me to use their map that they're making of Night City. This is labeled as the Cyberpunk 2077 map. So I'm going to roll back a handful of labels here. In Cyberpunk Red, things have not quite coalesced at this point. The Arasaka waterfront, not Arasaka waterfront. This is some Watson District Harbor area, right? This is currently not owned by Arasaka. It's not owned by anybody because Arasaka hasn't really gotten a toehold yet back into Cyberpunk Red, back into Night City. This little area, Little China, Kabuki, and Japantown, this is all like one big pseudo neighborhood. This is where Ember hangs out that we met with her during chapter 1. And we're going to be back here tonight, actually. And then, so we'll kind of just in our minds imagine this map is labeled slightly differently because not all of this has really come to fruition yet, since we're not quite up to the year 2077. We're still in 2045. So I'm going to zoom us in to the Kabuki district here. And we're going to start by catching up with Ember. And we've got a nice little picture of Ember's shop. Move the players over there. And this is Ember's shop where she works. I'm going to have to get rid of all these people. Oh, I don't have to get rid of Spring. She's there. This will be great. So, at Ember's shop, we are going to catch up with a handful of people that... Library there. Here at Ember's shop, Ember and Spring are present. And what we've got going on is... get that fixed. There we go. Ember's these like chrome looking eyes. Super creepy looking. Because if y'all remember, Ember is a fixer in Night City, and she has the chrome fashion wear skin. So like every centimeter of her body is reflective. And Ember is... We met her last time. She was being scouted at first. She was working with a Borg named Low-Tech. We have since learned that Ember is Low-Tech's daughter, and she is taking care of Low-Tech. And Spring, who was in Chapter 2, has returned to Night City, and she had a scene with Ember and knew Ember. And so when she came back to Night City, having escaped the situation in Sacramento and gotten away from the Midnight Runners, Spring has apparently hooked back up with Ember and is doing work with her again. Meanwhile, we've got some folks in here. We've got this guy. Make him nice and big again. We've got this guy who is Duck Pham. And Duck Pham is a chef. And Duck Pham is being played by Mike, who would normally play Dexy. So, Mike, Duck is your guy. He is a chef. Today, he's getting his hand replaced by Spring. And he's a fine chef, a sushi chef. Works in a very close by restaurant that's actually above this workshop. And Duck has some very powerful bosses. I give you very little to work on with Duck. Do you want to embellish at all on who Duck is or anything like that while I load in the rest of our folk here?
That knows once again. Yeah, I mean, he's here. He's probably like getting worked on in a chair while they like taking most of one of his arms off. Like the other one is probably still like totally meat, like flesh, and it's like probably covered in extensive like full sleeve like foil and cresting waves and all that kind of stuff for like the whole thing.
I like
So
it.
he's eventually ending up with one whole flesh arm and one that's like going to be wholly mechanical down from the shoulder. Instead of having like retractable tools or like guns or weapons built in, it's going to have like micro tweezer extensions for like little tiny like parsley things or stuff like that.
Individually placing parsley leaves for garnish.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, like you do. Like you do. And here in the room with Duck Pham is a gentleman by the name of Fanger. Fanger. Fanger is... he works in the same organization that Duck does. Turns out that Duck is... his restaurant is owned by very powerful, important people. And Fenger is in here as an assistant to try and grab one more person. You know what? I'll just grab this one. Ooh, no, folks. For whatever reason, it has decided to select everybody, and I don't want everybody. There we go. So Fenger is the assistant to Ryu here. Ryu Takano. And Ryu Takano is you're controlled by Ethan. Put Ryu here. So Ryu is managed by Ethan today, and Ryu works for Arasaka. And Arasaka is here with Duck Farm to make sure that Duck's left hand gets properly upgraded so that he can cook even finer meals for the upper crust of Arasaka, U.S., who are currently still in hiding. And Ryu, you're here to meet with Ember and her compatriot Spring, and you have brought along your assistant, Mr. Fenger, who is run by Casey. And so to give everybody a little, let's set the stage just a little bit more. You're in this, to get into Ember's shop. I'll move Spring up a little bit. There's this like dark alley. Your restaurant is up at the top of this building at the end of the dark alley, and you have to go down and leave, and there's like this convenience store. You have to leave out through the freezer section in the convenience store. Your restaurant is like a super speakeasy, super hard to get into kind of thing, very elite. And you leave out of that, you walk around this big block, and you walk down this super sketch alleyway to where Ember's office is. And Ember has good security. There's a turret at the top of this alley overlooking the whole thing. Getting into Ember's shop is difficult, but she knows you. She expects you. This is a prearranged meeting and surgery consult. Or not consult, surgery session. So you all went in through there. There's this section where you go through like a bit of a man trap. You're in this like caged section where the two doors can lock on either end. Those are all opened for you when you arrive. And then you check in with Ember, and you've made your way into this back room where there's a surgical table, and Ember is in there. Spring is in there. Duck, I want to kind of put you already on the table, if that's okay.
That's fair.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're conscious during surgery, because otherwise that would be less fun.
Once they turn the nerves off at the shoulder, you don't feel anything to do.
Yeah. She opens the shoulder panel and starts to tinker with some stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, no more pain, but you can still feel like hot and cold. Yeah, exactly. And so you're sitting there on the table. Spring has begun. She has started to take apart your arm and is asking you some diagnostics questions, that kind of thing. We're just doing like the preliminaries of getting you ready for the hand replacement. And Ryu and Fenger, you're both in here. Ember had to kind of improvise a little bit to provide some comfortable seating in this room. This is normally a surgical station with like a chair. Now there's been like 3 kind of nice-ish chairs moved in here. And when I say nicest, I mean like they are probably like a lazy boy style recliner and a bench of an old AV4, like the really plush bench has been ripped out of an AV4 and placed in here. And then there's probably one more chair from. Let's have one more chair from. Oh, maybe from the restaurant upstairs. Has made its way down here. So it's like a really plush, like dark wood with red upholstery on it, and it's super comfortable. And so you've got these 3 kind of mixed mashed places to sit, Ember is not yet in the room. She is going to get tea for everyone. So where would Ryu take his seat?
I think we would sit in the chair from the restaurant, and sit with very good posture, but legs crossed, kind of hands folded.
Okay, perfect.
Just looking comfortable, but good posture and businesslike. But
Yeah, excellent. And where would Fanger place himself?
I would actually stand next to him,
Okay,
as a kind of straight up and down, maybe with a pad if there's any notes to be taken, you know.
sure.
But very try to relax though, a little relaxed, you know. Just kind of scoping out the place.
Sure. This is probably Fanger's first time in here.
Okay.
Ryu, you've been here a few times. Normally, though, you bring Ember up to the restaurant, right? Because that's where you all conduct business. You can have some nice sushi and some sake and that kind of thing. And down here is where it gets done. And so this is probably like your third time here, right? But you're very familiar with this place at this point. Um, Ember comes in. She has a warm plate of like um some kind of Americanized food, like maybe like sliders with different meats on them from other parts of the world, and some vegan vegetarian options as well, because she's not super sure Fanger's tastes, right? And she knows what Ryu likes because she's met with Ryu many times. So whatever Ryu's like favorite protein is, there's a couple of sliders with that in there. And she also has tea for everybody, some green
I'm
tea.
gonna go for the classic pork belly on those.
Okay.
I've had
Perfect.
pork belly sliders; they're very good.
Very good. Very good. So she comes in and there's a little like cocaine table, right? And so she sets the plate on that, and it like dwarfs the little table. And
It's kind of like a mirror. The top is a mirror.
totally, yeah, exactly. It's like a little circle about this big. The whole thing's mirror top finish, and she just plops the plate or gently sets the plate on top, and like it's balanced, but you all know not to set the
Yeah.
heavy stuff on the edges because the whole thing would go crashing down, kind of
Mhm.
thing. Yeah.
I think Ryu would end up kind of turning that into a game of like kind of putting things in different spots to keep it balanced, but
Nice.
kind of in like different ways.
I like that. It's like you're playing a little board game with
Mm.
the balance. I like that's fun. Okay. Um, and I'm gonna put just a couple of words in Ember's mouth real quick and say, you go to sit down in which chair would Ember sit in?
I would actually imagine that Ember has like a little like monitor setup where there's like three different screens going on, maybe. Just like where she kind of conducts big business and like can watch the cameras and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, we can put those on the wall. Um, uh, uh, there's probably be a little bit of negotiation as Spring probably wants one of those showing medical data,
Sure.
right? So there's like one screen showing like vital signs for Mr. Duck,
Yes, please.
who needs to survive this scene, and then for everybody's benefit, like if Duck passes, that would be a big problem for everybody in this room. So we have one screen dedicated to that, and then the other
Yeah.
two to like security camera footage, and then maybe some sort of like news blotter or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, excellent. And where does Ember sit? Does she take the AV4 bench seat, like the big couch seat that was in the back of those flying cars, or does she take the lazy boy?
Uh, let's go with the lazy boy. Yeah.
All right, good. So yeah, you sit down and grab whatever food or drink you all like. Um, and Spring, I want to free Spring up for a little bit. You've got some diagnostics running on Duck's hand, and it's going to take 5 or 10 minutes for those to complete. So all of you are kind of sitting here waiting while the little computer does its thing.
Okay.
I think Duck will probably turn to look at like the little table with like the stuff on it and like sniff and like kind of wrinkle his nose at it and turn away.
Sure. Yeah. Cooked
Oh
food.
yes, it's chicken. Which if you're in a restaurant that's below 5 stories up, that's like something that comes out of that, right? Not something that comes out of the animal.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah, we all know that it's all like fake crab, it's all fake chicken, it's all fake everything, you know. Because it's time of the red, and like who has the time to raise cattle or poultry or any of those animals these days? So yeah, Ember, this is your meeting. So why don't you kick us off a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. So like Ember will probably like turn to the group, maybe have like a little slider in hand and go, I'm glad we could all meet here today. Glad we could help Duck out. But as you know, I work 1,000 different angles and work 1,000 different fires, and I was hoping we could come to an agreement today. Ryu.
Yes. Well, what kind of agreement are you looking for?
Well, um, there is an interesting information that I've come across having to do with Meta and that group. It seems like they have found some interesting things and something that may be beneficial to both of us. And I was wondering maybe I could have some extra muscle to help out during the negotiation and deal.
Yeah. I think Ryu will kind of sit for a minute and pick up the cup of tea and kind of take a slow sip and think he says, "You know, my employer has missed your father's company. I'd like to have tea and perhaps play Go. Um, what do you think of that?"
Of course, yes, he's mentioned it. But as you know, my father he works with a lot of different angles. He's constantly, tying loose ends together. So that's why I was wondering if you could help me out with this, because he's always doing things, and I think this could be mutually beneficial.
It seems that we both need to make time, right?
Sure.
Okay. Um, I could maybe spare some individuals for security, but I need to know a bit more about this meta situation, I think.
Yes. So, from my knowledge, Meta has been off the coast looking for things and has found some interesting, even I don't know, something interesting they found. But
So,
someone, oh,
so
sorry, go ahead.
I'll feed you a little bit here. They have come into contact with the same uh, Borg suit that your dad has,
Hmm,
and you have not been. Ember has been on feelers for specific parts, and
mhm.
they kind of put two and two together. It's like, oh, we have those parts. We think you might need extra, and so they're wanting to do a bigger meet than just an exchange of parts.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So Meta has come across some really helpful parts from both Arasaka and possibly for my father, and it seems like they want a little more than just to exchange some, eddies and some parts. So possibly a relationship. And I've also heard that the Z Boys and the Sharks are also trying to claim these parts as theirs, and hence where you come in with the extra muscle. So I think that developing a good relationship with Meta, having some parts on our side, never hurts either, could lead to some good things in both of our futures.
And just real quick as a GM, if any of y'all are wondering like exposition on any of these names, let me know and I'll fill in the details that your characters would know about Meta, the Sharks, the Z Boys, any of those folk. That would change how you would respond in the scene.
Would our characters know about Meta's somewhat disdain towards corporates?
Um, so the Arasaka folk you all would know Meta as a bit of a competitor these days. They're nowhere near Militech in terms of like your hatred, but they have really taken over the Seaways. And on one level, you use them now. Like they are an effective transport organization. But on the other level, like they do compete with you on specifically Pacific power projection, right? So it's kind of like selling your stuff through Amazon. Like it's really helpful, but it kind of sucks.
Right.
So it's like it's one of those deals where they are useful to you, but there are areas where you consider them a competitor. So yeah, definitely, definitely a double-edged sword for you guys.
Okay. I think I can make some time for that. When is the meeting to take place?
You can make it up. Don't matter.
Yeah. In a week and a half.
Okay. I will I'll be there. See that your father also holds up his social engagements this week as well.
So could you repeat that?
See that your father also holds up his social engagements this week. And I think we'll be fine.
I will do my best.
At that, your little machine beeps, and it looks like Duck's arm is in pretty good shape. It definitely can handle the hand that's going on to him. But you notice that there is some degradation of his nerves connection with that arm. Oh, we lost somebody. They're coming back, I think. Oh no, we lost Mike.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Sorry,
You're good.
my camera was frozen.
Oh, okay.
Give it a kick. But
We're all looking at squares for a second. It's all good.
I got to be Mike for a few seconds.
Exciting.
I'm sorry. I really didn't mean that. Yeah. Nobody else would have to deal with that.
No, you're good. Nobody should have to deal with being you. Aw.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah. Jagos, we ran into the sharks in chapter 1. They are a gang that hang out near the harbor.
They like to roll in Honda Civics and chase people.
They do. They do. They have like facial tattoos and all that good stuff. And then the Z Boys is a gang y'all haven't met yet. Snipers from the first episode. No, that was Bigfoot. They were a nomad tribe out on the road. So anyways, I guess Mike, are we all good? Should we set it as it is?
Give me 1 second. I'll try this again.
Yeah, no worries. Webcams are tough. They're a fickle agent.
There it goes. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that looks great.
I guess I just tried to flip the switch too fast.
Yeah. So my apologies. Yeah, you all knew that stuff. What you're finding in your medical diagnostics is that his nerve connections to the arm are starting to recede, and this is something that's like kind of a way of the body beginning to reject something. He's probably had this arm for a long time, and it's probably starting to strain him in some way. So while putting together and getting everything working now, he'll be fine. But Spring realizes that there is a bit of a clock on this guy's ability to control this arm. Maybe a year, maybe 5 years before he starts to have degradation of control. But at some point, he'll no longer be able to control this arm unless he has a procedure to reconnect his nerves and that kind of thing. And that would be uncomfortable. It would put him out of commission for a little while those nerves kind of heal from that operation.
Okay. Do we have HIPAA laws? Just asking for a friend.
No.
Okay.
No,
Didn't think so.
not with Arasaka. You don't.
Just checking.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Right? Hmm. Uh, all right. I, walk back a little closer to Duck to Duck's head face after reviewing the diagnosis. And I look at him and say, um, so I've got some good news and I've got some less than good news. Which would you like?
Like, I didn't expect to come in here today for any less than good news. So what's that?
Well, the good news is we can still proceed as planned today. The less good news is that the lifespan of this, you're looking, worst case scenario, probably a year. Best case scenario, maybe 5. So,
Uh,
you know, you you're gonna have to go through with a rather painful and exciting surgery at some point. So the question is, do you want to keep going now for this year to maybe 5? Or do you want to maybe wait a little bit and let's do the bigger surgery to get you set?
how long is that surgery going to put me out of commission for?
What do you like? Frankly, like it'll be weeks at least, right?
I mean, you're probably looking at least 6 weeks. It's
Mm,
it's it's a it's a deep surgery. It's great. It works beautifully most of the time, like 99.5% of the time. So it's worth it, but
Like, will I be able to like? Is that like totally out of commission, or will I like, just like not be able to use the arm? It's like
that's
I have people who do not like the idea of like not being able to go to the restaurant when they choose at the moment they choose. And I have sous chefs who are very good, but still require supervision.
Yeah. I would give you total latitude here in terms of like how out of commission he would be. Like to me, this is all just fun
right.
stress to put on the Arasaka team because like they also need Duck in working order because like they're bringing people in and part of the draw is this amazing food that Duck can create. So like this matters for the whole Arasaka team.
You should work with Arasaka. Look at the fancy dinner we took you to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's off the table.
I mean, really, you should trust your people a bit more. But now you're going to be out of full commission for a while. If you try to like work in the kitchen while you're doing your rehab and your physical therapy to get yourself up to speed, you risk losing a lot of functionality and you risk losing like failing having the surgery fail. I'm not sure that's something you want. Why not just take a nice little vacation, work on yourself and your arm and your body and just recover?
Oh yeah,
Vacation.
yeah, yeah. Six weeks of spare time, the kind of thing every restaurant worker has lying around. Oh,
Yes. So I'm thinking about my best friend who's a chef.
yeah.
Hmm.
Mm, I mean, I will glance over at the other Arasaka people here.
Yeah, they are kind of like your boss in a way, right? I mean, they're not your boss, but they like talk to your
They're
boss.
also like associated, yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's also like if this happens now and I'm out of commission for 6 weeks, and they know like next week there's like a big wig from such and such corp coming in, like then it's
Yeah,
time to do that thing.
yeah. I think um, just to add a little dramatic tension to the room and to do. I think Ryu's gonna give one of those like kind of over his shoulder, kind of looks at Fanger and just kind of get him to lean down and just be kind of like, what do we know? What do we got on the docket? What's the opinion?
Well, we have peace talk with Militech that was supposed to happen to get us some more ground in the downtown area.
Maybe
Then you'll,
roll his eyes at that one.
Peace talk.
and then we have a potential with the one of the gangs. And what's the what's the tiger, flying tigers? I can't remember the one with one of the Arasaka guys running it.
Oh, yeah, we'll know that it's the gang that they are sort of associated with for sure.
Yeah,
we'll
we have
pull
some
that
of
game.
we'll have some of their leaders coming in to look at some weapons to certify a deal so they can start getting the core area of the city under our control. And then there was some rumors of some transporters that seem to do some work that we might want to look into, but they're out of town right now. And then, of course, I can go and talk to the boss man and see if he wants to come down. But you know how he is nowadays, trying to get back up and going. So it's not the greatest time for him to be down, to be honest with you. But we might be able to swing.
There's probably a point where, like, while he's like half turned around to like listen to this, like Duck kind of like waves like his good like meat hand, like just kind of like lays back down on the table. Now's not the time to put him to do it. We'll schedule a time for it. We'll carry on for now.
Yeah, and I think we would just look back at Duck and make eye contact and just kind of nod.
Yeah.
And then shift a plate around and put a cup on the opposite side of the tray. It's just like doing his thing.
Playing his board game of balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, what warning signs should I be on the lookout for before this becomes like a serious deal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shakes, chills, the smell of toast when there's no toast around.
Yeah.
All you smell is donuts forever. No. I mean, you've got a few things. Like the really subtle ones are things like irritability and difficulty falling and staying asleep. Phantom like tingles and pains, not just in your arm, but in other parts of your body. Um,
Yes.
it's pretty subtle in the beginning. Eventually, it gets really obvious, obviously, when your arm doesn't work at all. But by then, a lot of damage has already happened, and I'm not going to have much success on the final surgery. Hitting it now is really key before it degrades any further.
Finger would lean down to Ryu. Is like, if we can get through this week, we can either have him down, and I could probably find us a replacement, and he can get fixed up. He's really good. I don't want to lose him. A temporary replacement, potentially.
It's like, admitted, you can find somebody to cover for a while, but not somebody to replace.
That's right. Duck won't stand for the word replace. Okay, good. So, only other thing I wanted to get out of this was
I have something else planned, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
And so I imagine Ember with all of her screens on. Like, I also imagine she has like multiple agents, like talking with different people at the same time. And so I imagine her just like texting or whatever and looking up and go, "Oh, Ryu, I just realized he can't make it this week. He will be out of commission for at least 2 weeks on what he's doing right now. And out of character, is Ryu combat oriented, or like is he like ready to throw down, or is he much more of that corporate highlight?
I would think that Ryu is. I mean, he's a standard Arasaka corpo guy, so he's mostly business, but certainly has personal defense stuff in him, right?
Sure.
And if it comes up, we'll invent it this second if we need to.
Cool.
I think maybe some martial arts.
Totally.
It's probably like an Arasaka corporate getaway for your martial arts training.
Oh yeah, that's part of the manager training is like how to fight being thrown into the back of a van, right? Like 3 guys show up with a van, they're gonna throw you in the back of it. How do you not let that happen? That's a problem. you gotta fight that off.
That's how you know you're upper management is it's training. If you're junior management, it's a chip that they just tell you to see.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Yeah,
nabbing you.
this would be good enough.
Yeah.
Like,
Throw that in your brain. It'll help you fight. As it like goes through and deletes all the things that they don't want anybody to hear about.
Um, and so you know, he'll be out for 2 weeks. So don't think he'll be able to make it this week. But I was also thinking, my contacts are saying these Z dogs, or sorry, what were they called again?
The Z Boys and the
Z
Sharks,
boys
the two different
and the sharks.
gangs
Where'd I
that
get
are.
the dogs from?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Z boys and the sharks, they're ready to throw down. So as you know, I respect your skills, but I think this may need some more kind of equipped bodyguards ready to take on some people, um, for this kind of deal to happen.
Hmm. This is sounding less like a meeting to me, Ember.
I brought you your pork belly and your tea.
No, not this one. They're meeting with Meta. If there's supposed to be some sort of firefight involved as well.
It's not guaranteed, but I know that Arasaka are the best. It is a meeting. We are going to be negotiating in talks. But from my sources that I've been talking to, these sharks and Z boys, they don't give up easily. So I want to be prepared for all contingencies.
Hmm. That's a shame.
Why is that?
I was looking forward to the meeting.
I will brief you on everything I get from it. Would it still be possible to have some of your guards?
I don't know. It seems now that we don't have so much of an equivalent exchange happening.
I am well aware that my father wants to get back into it, but very busy doing things right now. And I think we shouldn't rush something like that. He needs to be on his top to make sure that he can beat Yorinobu at Go. We both know what a master he is. And this deal is to help facilitate long-term negotiations so that Arasaka doesn't have to deal directly with Meta anymore, and that now there'll be kind of an easier, more deniable way to have them work for us.
I think I understand. How many men are we talking?
It's a small squad. We know that Arasaka can handle almost anything.
Flattery.
I know that to be true. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. Ballpark. 5, 10.
Not even. 6, 6, 7.
Okay. Hmm. I think Rio kind of play with the tray for a moment, and he'll then kind of signal for Faggot to lean down.
Sir,
So Fanger works more closely with my boss, right? Is that what we had talked about?
So out of character, Ryu has come to understand that Fanger wasn't just like, hey, I need an assistant, therefore you got an assistant, but that Fanger actually reports back up through to, I have to look at his name again. So sorry to have to look up his name so much, but it's Yuri Nobu, the head of Arasaka US. So like, whatever you know that whatever goes on between the two of you, some of that can get back up to Yorinobu.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rhea would just ask, how important is this tea?
I'm sorry, what?
How important is this meeting with Lotec?
So
He was.
To
I
say
mean, yeah.
business
Let
with
me.
Meta.
yeah, let me give some context here for you. The deal with Arasaka is backing Ember, and they get a lot out of Ember, right? This is something that Fanger would know. The challenge is that the reason why they work with Ember is because Lotec was an Arasaka security agent back in the day, in the time of 2020. And they really want to make sure that Lotec is still alive. This is for Fanger. They really want to make sure that Lotec is still alive and well, because that's part of their leverage on Ember. And they know that the moment that Lotec passes, that they're going to lose a lot of their leverage on Ember, because they supply her parts, they supply her security, they supply her all kinds of things to help keep her dad around. And so, Wenger, you know that he is super important, and verifying his health is super important. Now you can assign whatever that urgency is for like how soon this needs to happen, but just so you have that context, Casey.
Okay. Sir, is Lotec is a very important asset to us, and he helped us out immensely during corporate war. And knowing that he is healthy and alive will keep Ember under our thumb, for lack of a better term. So this meeting with Meta would probably be an important one, but we do need to verify that he is doing well. And from what I'm piecing together, it seems that this Borg suit that our rivals and helpers Meta has gotten would be important for her father. So a squad of 6, I would actually say a squad of 4, because we are still we're in a weird quasi partnership with Meta, so I would not want to rock that boat any more than necessary. Maybe a sniper team to keep our presence at a minimum. If she needs us, we'll show up. If not, we'll overlook. But I would put an importance meeting. But we definitely make sure that he's alive. He's the important part. All the rest of this is just smoke.
Yeah. Ryusei, I think we can work something out. How about this? I'll provide you with a small team, as you say. And your father can pick up his next delivery of, parts after tea.
Of course, yes. Those parts are good. Yeah, when they have tea and that legendary game of Go that hopefully I can attend myself if I'm not too busy. Yes, he will definitely pick up those parts when he comes back.
And not a moment sooner.
Of course.
Very good.
Awesome. I don't have anything else for this scene. Does anybody else have anything else they've been like noodling on in here? Okay, cool. I'm loving this. So we know that there's a clock on the famous chef of this restaurant, which is fantastic, and that he's going to get to go back to work today with an appointment to come back in a couple of weeks, right? And luckily that will come when the Midnight Runners are back in town, right? So that will be somewhere in there whenever his plot convenient. Duck will be back here having his finishing surgery.
He can expect to get back in working order as soon as like we've like driven a semi through.
Yeah, exactly. And then also Ember is working on a deal with Meta These are all things that the players don't know, right? The player characters don't know about this stuff, but this is critical for us to understand Ember's world and like what she's in the middle of, so that we can kind of get a sense for like one, where is Spring? She's with Ember, right? And Spring is doing critical work for Ember this whole time, right? Um, so let's wrap up this first scene with these NPCs. You get your hand back. It's got like multi tools with little like laser scalpels and all kinds of stuff, and like there's like the thumb compartment is a way for you to like compress wasabi to exactly the right pressure or whatever, So like all these little things, what was once a left hand is now a chef's toolkit.
You can take your hand and like close it up real tight, and it like forms a seal. So you shake it, and then it does like the nitrous infusion, so you create the foam.
Could you also replace like the middle finger, the index finger with special knives so you can just chop really fast?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, of course.
You could just touch a steak
No,
and
the
tell if
middle
it's
finger
done.
is the zester.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, you've got a brand new hand on Duck. The three of you file out of here and head back to your restaurant to report in and begin service prep for the evening. Right, this is all like late afternoon type stuff, and it's time to get everybody ready for the dinner crowd. So that's good stuff. I love it, chat. We are going to go to a quick break, and then we'll come back and do our second scene. These are going to be shorter episodes just because we're doing like one scene at a time and really just checking in on individual NPC groups. When we go to break, I am super excited to show you our media, Jagos, who's in chat. Jagos, thanks a ton. Our media has produced 2 separate newspapers with different articles based on who's writing them. There's SMUD, the state news for Sacramento, getting the last word on all the stuff that happened during Chapter 2, and the craziness that's going on there. And then there's also Nomad Nation, and talking about what's going on in the nomad circles between everybody. Really, really fun stuff. I'm going to throw those up on the break screen. So instead of the usual taking a break screen, you'll get to see some news. And so thank you, Jago, so much for making this stuff. It is really fun to get a glimpse into the lives of like secondary and tertiary NPCs, and like names that I threw off the top of like off the cuff once. They like make it back into the news as little Easter eggs. So thanks a ton for that. And with so many people, I do want to also give away a copy of Legend Keeper. So we are going to run a little giveaway while we're on break. And Legend Keeper is what we use to manage this game. It's also what we use to manage all of our games. It's got like a Google Maps plus Wikipedia in there, and you can like bring, as a GM, you can make your whole world and then bring in your players, give them access, let them write their own articles, have your own little private GM section available just to you. Super helpful tool. We're using it, I want to say, in like all 8 of our games. Yeah, like I think we're up to 8 at this point. And they don't pay us for any stuff, but like I asked them if we could give away copies of it or beta keys to it. So while we're on break, we are going to be giving away beta access to Legend Keeper. Let me close this. Sorry, that was an old one. And go back. This. Cancel. Yep. All right, there we go. Now I think we're ready. Okay, cool. So we're going to start this giveaway. To enter and to win, put a exclamation point, bang, exclamation point, Legend Keeper, all one word, in the chat. And at the end of this, we will pick a winner, and you'll be able to play around with Legend Keeper. You can invite up to, I think it's like 10 of your friends, or you can invite a lot of people. You can invite people.
Is it still 50?
It might still be 50. Heck, yeah.
Yeah,
You can invite a bunch of your friends. They can write articles in your game. They can run their own games, invite a bunch of their friends. So just one of you getting a copy of this means that all of your gaming friends will get access to this just through you. You can invite them all. So this would be really great. All right. All right. I think we're gonna go for 10 minutes. We'll be back at 9:20 ish, Eastern, whatever your time zone is. Do the math. We'll be back 20 minutes after the hour, to pick up in scene 2 and see what's going on with our next group of NPCs that we've been away from for so long. Awesome. Well, everybody, we'll be right back, and thanks a ton. All right, and we are back. Hey, everybody. Um, the team was giving me endless crap for these faces and some names. Um, so, where are we? What are we doing? I am just gonna show us trigger warning, player character, death spot. We all remember this place.
This place.
This place.
Oh,
This is where S-Platoon used to hang out. S-Platoon has been, well, they've had a hard month. It started with a really shitty night for them. It was a bad night for them too. All right, it was a bad night for the Midnight Runners, an awful night for the Midnight Runners, but it was a bad night for them as well, because in that evening, their leader, Big Sal, was found and murdered by by a techie. Randomly, right? Big Sal was at his desk eating a sandwich, mind his own business, and here comes this little fella across the room, jiving over the desk and chokes him to death.
Stealing his sandwich out of his pockets.
I know. It was bad for Big Sal. It was real bad.
A hoagie.
So since then, I'm going to get us back to Westbrook real quick. No, not that Westbrook. Oh my God. Oh, that's terrible. Back to the Night City map. Whew. Since then, the S-Platoon second in command, Skratch King, has risen through the ranks and has regained control of the gang, the remnants of the gang. The gang had a huge firefight with Detroitus, the big like slum stack thing that was next to the firehouse. They had open war for a couple of days, and S-Platoon eventually won, with the citizens of Detroitus fleeing, those who weren't killed. And here we are. Oh, real quick, I'm so sorry. Let us finish up the raffle before we do the thing. Let me close entries. Let's pick a winner. Hey,
The winner is
Deadman 619. Awesome. All right. Congrats. Let me find you in the stream here. Where's my guy? Deadman.
Just
Yeah.
said something.
Cool. Here we go. Let me whisper to you. I'm going to shoot you a little message
Oh,
in Twitch. If you would, Deadman, if you would send me back an email address, and I'll send that up to the folks over at Legend Keeper, and they'll hook you up with beta access to Legend Keeper. So, congrats, Deadman. That's so awesome.
that's one of my good friends.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Heck. That's good stuff. I
We're
love
back
it.
in college, like
Damn.
several years ago.
Damn, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that we can share the love. That's good.
Ooh.
All right. So let's do this. Skratch King has fought, regained control of the gang, relocated the gang to somewhere else on the map. Right? I would love for us to figure out where that is right now. So that's probably the first step. Is where in Night City? Let me get Mr. Hammer out of the way. Let me get Case out of the way. Let me get Rebecca out of the way. We gotta look at the whole map here. Skratch King, played by Ethan. Where have you placed the gang? It can't be in Westbrook anymore. Westbrook
Yeah, it can't be in Westbrook.
has gotten wise to you. You know,
Westbrook is fucked.
yeah, it's just hostile territory for the gang now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So we're looking for a few things, right? We're looking for a lot of cybered up folks. Maybe a bit residential, not as much guns.
Right?
Where is a place like that at Night City? I'm not
So if you're looking for more of
supremely
like,
familiar.
yeah, sure. If you're looking more for like burbs, then you're probably looking at Rancho Coronado.
That's actually where I was looking at.
Okay. So little note on Rancho Coronado. Rancho Coronado is has a university. It has a bunch of neighborhoods and all that kind of stuff. Big apartment buildings. It is the build site for another arcology, kind of like Westbrook was. This is being done by a different nomad family than Chromoxy. The big thing with Rancho Coronado is that it butts up against part of the combat zone. So there's the potential for you guys to go raiding in through the combat zone every so often as well, if you feel real froggy, which you really didn't have that access back when you were in Westbrook. So Rancho opens up some new avenues to maybe like recruit replacements, and to go and find parts off of like folks in the combat zone, which is great.
I see that humanities degree is not returning the dividends you expect.
That's right. That's right. Oh, that is so good.
I think that's probably where it's at. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so yeah, you're we're meeting down in Rancho Coronado. That's great. That was the first thing I wanted to figure out from this game. So Skratch King with this beautiful mug. You're the leader of a violent gang of Chrome Rippers, people who melt others down in order
This
to.
is from that thispersondoesn't.com, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to feel too bad. He kind of reminds me of Steve Carell from that movie where Steve Carell was in he was like formerly obese. He looks like Steve Carell from that part of the movie, and I can't shake it.
Yes.
Can't shake it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. And then playing Tam tonight, who is on the crew of S-Platoon, is your kind of your fire team leader or one of the squad leaders here. Tam is gonna be played by who picked up Tam? I forgot. I did a whole thing.
Was it Dexy?
It must have been. Yeah, it was. We're okay. Yeah. So Mike is playing Tam tonight. Tam is the kind of squad leader within S-Platoon. Not like second in command. This is like fourth or fifth down, but she leads part of the crew. You know, part of the hit squad that goes out hunting and getting parts and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, these are the two folk who are in charge of making sure that S-Platoon is still solvent and that S-Platoon is still going out and getting parts off the street, right? So that's Tam's role is leading the hitters out into the street. And on the other side of the table is a couple of folks. We're going to start with the top, though. Rebecca. Rebecca is, she's a corpo. She's the one who runs or liaisons with S-Platoon. Rebecca's boss is a company we haven't met yet, but their name is Chrome Valley. And Chrome Valley is a LA-based, Los Angeles-based cybernetics shop. And they bankrolled little old S-Platoon to come out here and get them some parts. Hey, go to Night City, get us some parts, ship it back to us. Thanks tons lots. You know, thanks for all the chrome, right? And Rebecca, you is played by Cy, and Rebecca is tasked with getting S-Platoon back on track. This last month, they have not hit their number. they've given you some parts, right? They've delivered some stuff, but just not. They're not making quota, and they need to start making quota, kind of thing. Now Rebecca's no fool. Um, you know, she's working with some dangerous folk, and has brought Case along. Case is a netrunner, played by GSSG, by Gavin.
Yep. Yep.
And Case is here to protect you. And also, you've brought Hammer along. Hammer is new to your crew, new to your team, but Hammer is muscle, right? He's a solo. He's got a gun. He's got a knife. He's fast. That's kind of what you need out of a solo. And but this show is yours. This is your meat. You've got a lot of riding. You got a lot of stuff riding on this, right? Your company has invested a lot in S-Platoon. They gave them a fire truck. They gave them their initial materials. You understand that they have since hooked up with a chemicals provider, with other sources locally, but you haven't seen the fire truck in a while. You haven't seen the production that you expect in a while. So after giving them a couple of weeks of listening to the delays, the stall tactics, and all that kind of stuff, you finally pin them down and had a meet. This is happening in a neutral location. This is not happening at Skratch King's new gang headquarters. This is happening like in a business park, kind of in some warehouse that you've rented for the day, kind of thing. And you've brought them here to kind of figure out what's going on and get them back on track of producing the chrome that Chrome Valley needs.
Do I know the name is Skratch King?
Yeah, you used
Just
to talk
checking.
to you used to talk to Big Sal. Big Sal was your guy for a long time, and then one night, Big Sal died, and you've heard about this. You know what happened. You know they got hit. You know that they had a war on their hands, and since then, pretty early on, you started working with Skratch King, and you have maybe met with Skratch King once since then, and Skratch King was like, "Give me 2 weeks." Well, that 2 weeks is now turned into like 3.5 weeks, and time's up, right? For this meeting to actually happen. It's like, hey, I know that y'all are rebuilding, you're reorganizing in the way that gangs reorganize, and you've been patient, but now your bosses are not patient. You can't be patient anymore, kind of thing. But you know who Skratch King is.
So Rebecca walks in. Is Skratch King already there, along with their people?
Sure.
And says, "Good
Yeah.
to see you again. I hope."
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Could I offer you something? Maybe some tea and some other beverage. Do you drink?
I appreciate the niceties, but I'm not here to be nice. I'm sorry.
Okay, sure. Yeah, have a seat. Okay, let's get started. What do you need? Hmm? What's
So
up?
Rebecca remains standing and says, "Well, I know that S-Platoon has had some difficult times recently. You and I discussed this. You said 2 weeks.
Period of restructure. Yes.
Yes. And now it's been 3.5 weeks. I can tell you, Chrome Valley's not happy. They're not generous with being stalled."
I understand that. That's a real shame. It is. Look. Uh, what is the thing here? What do you need? Do you need more parts? Do you need what is it you need from
I
me?
need you to meet your quota that you agreed to by the
Okay.
end of this month.
Okay.
No
Okay.
stalling, no other
Here's what
excuses. It
here's what I'll
needs to
do.
happen.
Here's what I'll do. All right. Well, let's set up a bit of a we'll call it a bit of a payment plan of sorts with interest, right? Here's the thing. I'll give you what 80% of quota, maybe. David, you can correct me if that's not doable.
You know what? 80, like I would call that like a sales guy. Um, like if you're really doing great, you're gonna hit 80, right? But saying
Okay.
80 here is probably a good like thing. Because like
Right.
if you're short off of 80, if it's not too bad, you could probably like then later renegotiate. So I think 80 is a
Skratch
good.
King knows we can hit maybe 70, and so he's gonna say 80.
Yeah.
He said, "Look, all right. We'll give you 80. All right, 80 for say a month or two. Right? We ramp that up back to 100. All right. Then 2 months down that line, we'll bump it up to 105. How about that? And in the long run, you're getting more. How's that? That's great, isn't it? I was just telling Tam on
Great,
the way over here. It's
but
great.
sounds great, but we've already footed the bill to bring you out here. 5% overproduction for a couple of months. Is that what you're saying? Or
Oh
forever?
no, it keeps growing from there. Yeah, gonna ramp
See,
up
we've
big time.
already put a lot of resources on the line for this. We can get another crew to do what we need. Why are we being okay with 80% when that was not the agreement?
Well, you're being okay with it because you're not doing it yourself, right? That's the thing. You're contracting out, and so there's a bit of compromise that goes into these things.
See, this is about the who. If you are not the who, we will find a different who. I would love to compromise, but 80% is not acceptable.
85.
Closer, not enough.
86.
I'd like to read him and see if I believe him. 86,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah. As he increments up 1% at a time.
86.2.
Yeah. Yeah, Rebecca
Basic
knows.
133.
Rebecca knows what's up. Not necessarily that he can't hit these numbers, but that this month he's at probably 30% of his number, right? And so like maybe the restructuring is done and he can get there, but it's you already know that 100's not going to happen, right? So it almost feels like every percentage point after this is just more lie or more pipe dream. And what she wants to do with that is of course totally up to you, but like yeah, you're getting the like he's only going to give you like he's going to try and get you numbers that eventually will make you happy, but like they're getting less and less realistic as they go.
Skratch King, I'm going to give you a little tip here. Promise me numbers that you can't even reach within realistically 6 months, maybe 3, but probably 6. It is basically just asking for your head to be cut off. You know what would be really smart? You tell us what you need to hit it, and then we work out another compromise of how you pay us back for it.
Okay, now we're
What's
talking.
keeping
There
you
you go.
from hitting these numbers?
What's keeping me? We're in a new neighborhood. Okay, a new neighborhood, completely different demographic. We got a whole different sort of street system going on. That truck ain't gonna cut it in this neighborhood. It barely cut it in Westbrook, but now we're in a whole different neighborhood. I gonna have to send some more, send some more metal down the line. Maybe some more
Okay.
variety. We're talking about universities. We're talking about college kids. You ever tried to drive a car on a college campus?
Yes,
It's fucking hell and a half.
I like to play a game. How many points do I get for knocking them over for being idiots?
0, but they get tuition. Ain't that
Hmm.
crazy?
I think
Everybody.
Tam will adjust her hat upwards, and she's got like these two like scars that run back from her scalp, like through her hairline. We're like, yeah, but it's like double points if you do it in a fire truck.
I like Tam's contribution there. That was good.
Right. So the truck won't cut it. Is it still in good condition? Are we able to repossess it from you in order to issue you a different truck or vehicle that you require that would fit this environment better?
It's got some wear and tear. I'll level with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say
A little bit of windshield damage, like runs through Tam runs her hairline again.
I'm gonna say with a face like this, just to ping on his face real quick. With a face like this, Skratch King is an accomplished liar. Okay, it's so like Even though we all know that is a bald-faced lie, Rebecca might buy it. That that it's been roughed up, but it's still operating. But she might not. Like that's totally up to you. But I just love that face making that lie.
David,
Yeah.
in my character from Night City that was hired on and might actually know partially what's going on through words on the street. Maybe not know
Yes.
exactly.
So the challenge that everybody has is that the truck never left the bay, right? The bay door was shut when the explosion went off, and so other than someone going to the firehouse and poking around, and now the firehouse is run by some other gang. Um, that's going to be really tough to verify. No one has seen them drive the truck since, right? So that's effective word on the street that S-Platoon is no longer using the truck. But nobody really knows what happened to it.
Okay.
So
I
I'll give
think
you
I
that.
would pull. Okay, I would pull Rebecca.
You all have comms with each other. You don't have to
Okay,
like
cool.
grab each other, move each other around. So yeah.
I'm like, ma'am. So, word on the street is that they might not even have the truck no more. Truck hasn't left the bay, from what I've heard, and they might not even have it. And more things, it seems that they got pushed in by some low-end nomad gang. Do we really want to trust these people that could keep on working? It was just a nomad gang that apparently took out a couple of the guys and their head boss. At least that's the rumor anyway.
Noted. Thank you.
Yep.
Just a little bumps and dings, huh?
Wear and tear.
Hmm. It's not going to behoove you to lie here.
You know,
I would
you're
like to
from
be
a
generous and work with you.
you're from a corp, right?
Yes.
Does it behoove to lie? Please.
When someone is trying to work with you to help you meet quota on something that is being funded by that something, does it behoove you to lie to that degree? What happened to
Semantics.
the truck?
The truck was damaged.
How?
We had a bunch of fucking I don't even know. It's crazy. They came out of nowhere with all these guns and shit. I had sniper fire. It's like a hit squad or something. Really
Were you
didn't remember
unprepared?
anything. Unprepared for motherfuckers in our basement? Yes. That was a bit of a
Hmm.
surprise to go down into the
Noted.
basement and find armed agents.
Okay.
And then Case is going to calm while there's a pause and go, "Boss, I have something um, possibly implanted into him. Let me know if you need it activated or anything."
What does it do?
It's a virus. I don't know what the virus does though.
Oh, my apologies. Your virus tells you can tell you like where Skratch King has been, and gives you
Hmm.
like snippets of audio and that kind of thing that it has taken from his in-ear comms. It doesn't take everything; it just takes little snips here and there.
Okay.
And but it also can give you quick access to his cybernetics.
Okay.
That's terrible, and I hate it.
Yes.
Oh, great.
I think we
So
should
I'll
hold on
tell
that
Rebecca.
for a little bit.
Okay. Let me know.
For my cybers, do I have a way to like record like an inner monologue note thing that like gets sent off upon death? Is that a thing in the cyber world?
Totally. Yeah, yeah. Like the kill switch, letter that's like
Yeah.
in
So the
you,
kill
right?
switch letter is going to include Scratch King, lies, doesn't really even work, got bested in his own fucking basements. What the hell is wrong with their security? Find these guys who bested them because they may be who we want to hire next. So if I end up dead, that gets sent back to
Sweet.
corporate.
Yeah, while you're sitting here having this discussion, you're like, and if he kills me right now, I
Yes.
need my
This is
corporate
what you need
people
to
to
know.
know. Yeah, I love it.
Got into your basement, huh? I
Yeah, some
see.
fucking
That is
bank
unfortunate.
connected. Dumb shit.
So, what do you have for collateral?
For collateral,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want?
What do you have for collateral?
What do you mean?
Since
What
we
do we
obviously
have?
can't just take back our truck and give you something in exchange that will work for this environment better, what do you have for collateral? Because we've already funded the fuck out of you and you are not meeting quota and you're not going to meet quota. Give me
Correct.
something, anything to hold on to here.
I don't know what you want. We pick up cyber, we send it to you. That's all we do. You think we're making a lot of profit off of this? Do you think this is a profitable venture? What do I have? Nothing. I got a fucking office now. Ain't that nice?
So why are we
One
in
without
business then?
bloodstains.
Unfortunate.
If it doesn't make a lot of profit and you don't feel it's worth it, why are we in business?
That's a great question.
Indeed.
So you come here, you tell me you want to help me. And you say you want to help me by terminating my employment. Great. Love that.
That
You
is
say you're
where
going to
you
give me
walk the
some
conversation
resources.
into. If you would like to blame it on me, that means you do not choose to take personal responsibility. That doesn't look very good.
You want to give me resources to help me do my job. But
I
then you
do.
want me to give you something to give me things. I don't have things. That's why we're not at quota, right? Apparently, I don't have what I need. So I'm going to give you more so I can do less. So you maybe give me something to
Clearly
come out
talking,
even.
it has to be something with what you're making for Chrome Valley. It could be something else unrelated. That's something that guarantees and motivates you a little bit more to step it up with the help that we're going to provide on top of what we've already agreed to.
Out of character, Ethan, if you want to make something up that Skratch King would have, I'm totally into that.
Skratch King doesn't have anything that he wants to give up.
Sure. Okay, perfect.
He's not.
Cool.
This is specifically his tactic is no, you tell me what you want from me. I'll give it to you.
Cool. Okay. Fair enough.
Can I interject here?
Yeah.
If Miss Rebecca, I've dealt with types like this before, and I have a proposition.
Are you you're doing that? You're doing this through comms, right?
Well, I'm actually now opening up. I'm actually talk.
So like.
Or is that not a good idea?
Yeah,
Like,
because you're like her employee, and you were brought into the crew very recently. So like.
There may not be the trust.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay, that's
Exactly.
fair.
Okay.
That's fair. But I still, he's a little more. He knows this time. He might have an angle because he smells the profit on both sides.
Okay.
He's like, I can be your eyes and ears, and if he steps out of line one time, I can assume control, and then we don't even worry about this no more. He seems a little. What's the right word? Lackluster as a leader. I mean, the man let a bunch of nomads sneak in his basement, kill his men, and do something to your very expensive truck. It seems like you just need a little bit of overhead. I wouldn't cut them loose just
Point
yet.
of order, that was Big Sal. That was Big Sal. Nothing to do with old SK.
Old SK. Just so I'm clear, that was a comment Ethan was making, right?
That was a comment Ethan was
Okay,
making.
cool.
Yeah, I don't think they were having that conversation out loud, but just for accuracy of information,
right.
Anything that happened pre-attack, not Skratch King's problem.
Right. Old SK here is picking up the pieces.
Just throwing that out there, because it seems like we here all day around and around, or you could just let me shoot them. One or the other. I'm good with both. And that'll be it. I'll be done.
Hold on just a second. Reread. Quick.
Oh yeah, all the things that I gave you, that huge block.
Yes.
Yeah.
Couple pages worth of information.
Yeah, this was the complicated one for sure.
Right, in comms to case.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Don't disable the cyberware, but check in with him and see what he's been doing, because something is just I don't know. I trust people about as far as I can chew them.
All right. Um, okay, so I would do that, but how do I do that?
Sure, yeah. So Case has a deck and has the contacts that allow him to kind of, or not contacts, but the cyber eyes that allow him to
Mm-hmm.
step into the world of hacking without really having to put down the goggles and be all super obvious about it. So he can try and be a little sneaky about it to get access to his virus.
Mm-hmm.
You're close enough to Skratch King to do this. You're within the 6 meter requirement.
Okay.
But you've got to, um, you've got to basically not let them see. You don't want them to see like your eyes while you're doing this,
Mm.
because then like it'll be obvious that there's like activity going on, and maybe Tam or Skratch King would notice, kind of thing. So like you can be stealthy about it. You don't have to pull down the big visor thing, but you do need to do something to like just make it not obvious that you're hacking them.
Um, I know in the picture he doesn't have sunglasses, but would it be possible, since you know he's going into a situation like this, to have sunglasses already on? Or is that a little too hand wavy?
You guys are inside, so even Hammer doesn't have his sunglasses on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they're inside. I guess that also makes sense.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
and that's fair. Like in the world of Cyberpunk, like there are probably people who wear like mirror visors all the time. So like
Texty.
I guess I should like roll that back and say like if Case is the kind of person who does that, that's fine. I kind of would rather he didn't, just to
no,
see
yeah,
what you
that's
would
fine.
do with this
Um,
challenge.
interesting. So where are our headquarters? Or like where are we coming from again? Do we know that?
You'll have like a little like rent an office joint in, call it Haywood, and it's really just Rebecca, you, and the rest of Rebecca's team. Right? It's a very small like branch of Chrome Valley. You're
Mm.
it for Chrome Valley. Probably the three of you and maybe one other that we have yet to meet is the entire presence of Chrome Valley here in town.
Would it be weird to just all of a sudden like receive some radio call and kind of just turn away and pretend like I'm on the radio? Would that look kind of weird since we're such a small operation? Or
Um, no, I mean you can certainly like receive a call and pretend to take it. That would work.
yeah, because I don't really think of any other good options for me right now.
Okay.
So yeah, it'd probably be receiving some sort of call.
Okay. Yeah, you get your agent to ring. You've got like a little way to do that, and
Hmm.
so does Case like excuse himself from the meeting, or how does Case like get himself a little bit away from these
No,
folk?
yeah. So Case will like have the agent ring, look at it, and then kind of whisper something over to the boss, Rebecca, and then kind of just not even go completely outside of the room, but just kind of away. Um, yeah. So like we're still in range, something like that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So yeah, Case gets up and goes off to the side, um, and you check in on your virus, and what you find out is that Skratch King has been all over town. Has checked in on a number of places, has spent a lot of time in Santo Domingo, especially around the area you're in, Rancho Coronado.
Hmm.
The audio snippets you get is a lot of like yelling, a lot of like barking orders and that kind of thing. Sounds like he's been busy, trying to keep his gang in line. And you do get a quiet conversation where Skratch
Hmm.
King is apparently talking to somebody that he knows and says, "Look, I'm sorry I got to do this, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to give it to them so that this buys us another couple of days. And I'll get you another one, I promise."
Hmm. Do I have a location pinged to that there?
That would have been earlier on. That would probably still be in Westbrook when he was telling the person that he's going to get him back whatever he's about to take off of them.
Okay. Okay. So like I'd finish up the phone call and then kind of sit back and then subcom everything I found over to Rebecca, especially about this kind of suspicious conversation between possibly someone he has a relationship with.
Yeah, yeah, and like full context, it's pretty obvious that he is sorry that he's doing this and is like regretful that he is taking parts off of someone to then hand it over to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I definitely focus in on that and be like, yeah, let's use that as some leverage. I'd tell that to Rebecca.
So Rebecca, this does change some stuff for her.
Okay.
Because the team that he has, mostly came out of LA, right?
Mhm.
You guys paid for their relocation basically, and so if he's lost members of the team or he's taking cyber off of his own team, then things are pretty desperate. Because like if one of your people doesn't have some piece of cyber that they use to go out and do these hits, like they're down.
They're at a weakness. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And odds are it means that this guy needs to be recruiting. He needs to be doing more than just, getting gear. Like that's like probably the first thing a corpo would think is like, oh, your human resource stat is not high enough. You need more human
Right.
resource stat,
Your attrition rate is too high right now.
Yeah,
We need to fix that.
exactly. Yeah.
How much leeway do I know that they actually have? Like, I know that the timeline says end of the month, but like in reaching a compromise, how much time can I actually give them?
Yeah, so realistically, they actually have 2 months before heads are really going to roll. At the end of the first
Okay,
month, the Chrome,
perfect for my plan.
good, yeah, Chrome Valley is going to want them to come to LA to answer for what's up. At the end of 2 months, Chrome Valley is going to send someone into town, kind of thing.
All right. Rebecca sighs and like leans forward on the desk and says, I bet you're pissed off that those guys went into your basement and blew shit up. I know I would be.
You're absolutely right. Look, Big Sal, God rest him. He was good at what he did, but the whole basement thing, that was an oversight. That was a definite oversight. Our new building, none of that shit.
Good. Glad to hear that.
That was number one on the real estate, search filters was no dumb shit in the basement. Like an entrance to a fucking bank down the street. Jesus Christ.
Hmm. Yeah. I can buy you some time on the production, but I really only see one way to do it.
Okay.
Retribution.
Okay.
You go and you kill those motherfuckers. You collect all their fucking gear, and you turn it over to us to review. We keep the majority, but if there's something we feel is prudent and useful for your tasks, you can keep that after we review it. You get 10 days to do that, so you won't have to meet the production quota at the end of this month, but you do need to hit as high as you can.
So your offer.
And you will have to come to LA to talk with them. I'm afraid. I
Okay,
can't get around
great.
that one.
Absolutely love it. Go see my sister-in-law. Look, here's the thing. So you want me, okay, to take out the people who royally fucked our shit up when we
Yes.
still had Big Sal and all the folks they killed. And you want me now, sans all of those very important individuals, to then go try and do the same thing?
Do you not plan on recruiting and building up your staff again? Are you happy with this attrition rate?
No,
You're never
I
going to meet
certainly am
production if you keep.
recruiting. I'm recruiting, trying to expand our operation, but 10 days? Come on. It's a joke.
How many people are you down still?
People I'm down. How many people can you send me? That's the important question here. Because I can find my own. I can pull.
But see,
I can find some kids
you
on down on
told
their
me
luck.
it was a little no-name nomad group. You can hire some crew on the street to help you out.
Again, higher. That involves money. The problem at
Mm-hmm.
hand involves money. You want me to invent money to hire a crew?
Pretty sure money's already invented. Just saying.
Again, semantics. Look, if you are willing to send us the resources and personnel to get that done, I'll happily do it. I'll kill their mothers too. Just for fun. Look, Tam, she'd be chomping at the bit for something like that.
You owe them payback. Like takes the hat off and has like these scars that like run back.
Hammer, I'm losing,
Get
like
in my
subcomms,
truck.
Hammer, I'm losing patience with this fool.
They're gonna hit my truck with a goddamn dune buggy
Fair.
and start firing shots into my head. Now,
What would you like
freaking
me
me
to do,
guts.
ma'am?
I don't think we need these people anymore. We'll find a new crew.
Understood.
I feel like we should end it here.
I just sent my thing.
Cool. So we have Rebecca choosing to kind of wash Chrome Valley's hands of S-Platoon, and we'll see what S-Platoon gets up to. The remnants of S-Platoon, as they've lost their key sponsor and all of that good stuff. Love it. Anything else that we need to do with these folks? I don't want to like progress the plot any further than we've already done it. Like this was good. Okay. Well, awesome. This has been really fun. I didn't like, I love doing like, let's look at the NPC life, right? And this was one of those ones where it's like, I don't know exactly how it would go, because like S-Platoon has a boss, right? And that boss has a boss.
Yeah.
You know, like how do those things work? And it was really fun to see like the way that fucking Skratch King came to existence and Rebecca came into existence. Like that was fun. So I
I
really,
feel so honored to get to represent Rebecca. And
yeah,
Ethan did an amazing job.
yeah, that was really good.
When I saw the picture, I knew.
Yeah, Skratch King has Jersey written all over him.
A lot less Mad Max than I was thinking, just based off the name.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. When I found that face, I was like, oh no, that's who Skratch King is. he ran a lottery scam for a long time or something like that. He wasn't like a tattoo guy. He was a lottery guy. Oh man. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and close it out here. We have other scenes we're going to be doing next weekend on Saturday. We're going to be catching up with a couple other groups, and I think we'll hopefully do one more of these. We might be able to get to do 2 more, but definitely one more of these things. I'm trying to think of what else. This is kind of an early time for us to leave, but frankly, these are the things I needed to get done, right? What's S-Platoon up to, right? What's Ember up to? Those are the things that we're going to be revisiting in Chapter 3. So everyone at home, thanks a ton for tuning in. I love that we have so many people watching tonight. I want to pay it back into the community. Let me find a group to raid. Find someone that I'm following to raid. Cave Geek Art is doing it again. I've rated that kid a lot. I feel like, well, heck? Oh, looks like he's actually doing like some map making right now. So let's jump over to Cave Geek. It's good. He's a good guy. Good dude. So let me grab here. We're gonna do some raiding action. Oh, yeah, Jagos. I think that Skratch King survives today. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes after that.
You know, at least until a certain cyborg cowboy shows up.
Right,
Anyway,
right.
Look, man, y'all weren't giving him anything to work with. It was all take. It was Skratch King who was expected to give. He ain't got. Look.
That was good.
What you
That
want
was
me to
so
do
good.
over here?
That was so good. Okay, all right. We are going to raid the goodly sir over at Cave Geek Art. I think he's making a map right now. He makes a lot of fantasy maps for D&D and all that kind of stuff. Really cool guy. So let's all jump on over there and have a great night with him. And as always, everybody, have fun and play well.
may all your rolls be crit. I flubbed it.
No, this is great. I love it. Because Rich would have flubbed it too, quite honestly. I think I hit the button.
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay.
Ahoy.